Hey everyone, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. This was done a few days ago. I've just had a chance to get down and talk about this. This is another session from our 2K training cycle. It's 3 by 1500 meter reps, a very generous 5 minutes rest between each. The programming called for a target of 2K PB pace plus 4 to 6 seconds. So I was looking at anywhere from about 134 to 136. On longer rep sessions like this, I always have a tendency to start closer to the back end of that pacing. So I was really just trying to sit on as comfortable a 136 as possible. And then, depending on how the body reacts and how I'm feeling, gradually bring that down. So this whole rep, I was able to really just hold 30 strokes a minute very, very comfortably, and keep the pace fairly consistent. Again, I tried to screen record on my phone so I could put in that screen data so you could see it in this video. I used ErgZone this time. I'll have to talk about that another time. But I tried to record ErgZone on there and it glitched again. I don't know if it's the fact that I'm using an older iPhone. I'm going to try and record on my new phone or even maybe my iPad to see if that's the difference. But it would have been nice to have that data on the screen again. So sorry, it's coming. I'll work on that. Something that came up in some comments recently, might have been on Facebook, was, and you'll see it here, as I recover on my stroke, you'll notice my knees will start to bend before my hands pass. Now, the technical geeks out there will say, that's wrong. Your hands should move away from you, and then you should pitch your body forward, and then the knees can bend. And yeah, I get that, and technically that is correct. What I find at speed and at high rate is that the whole system sort of has to move together. You can't have this separation of movements at higher rates very effectively. I think it would just be, it would look too weird and robotic and not very rhythmic. So yeah, I do have the knees bending early, but you'll notice that as my hands pass over the knee, the chain line doesn't change. Like if you look at the handle, the line of action going in and out isn't impacted. And my body position, it's not like my knees are going forward and I'm still leaning back. I'm able to get out over top, so it's not like it's impacting my ability to get back to a strong catch position. I don't have the most flexible lower half, so I have this wonky back bend. But in terms of that recovery stroke, I think it's less important than people put into it. I've seen a lot of very fast indoor rowers who do something similar, and if it works for them, I'm gonna say it works for me too. Okay, second rep. First rep went fine. Heart rate didn't get too high. Felt very comfortable, and on this one I'm just trying to do more of the same. It's easy to get ahead of yourself on interval sessions and maybe go too fast too soon. I never want to be in a deficit early in a session. One thing I like to practice is just being in control. So the fastest I can go while still staying fairly comfortable is always, in my opinion, an optimal way to approach sessions like this. There's a time and a place for, smashing yourself and trying to hold on to that. Shorter intervals with less rest, you can get away with that. But on these ones, again, I'm trying to be as smooth and consistent as possible. My rate didn't really change here. I think the average at the end ends up being about 31. So again, more of the same on rep 2 compared to rep 1. If I'm rambling today, I apologize. I'm trying to fit this in while my lovely wife is out. And I'm managing the 3 boys. So I might not be talking all the time or a lot of the time. It's a long video, but I will do my best. But if I go off on weird tangents, it's because I'm not doing much editing, doing more chatting. As I'm watching this, I'm looking for my own mechanical flaws. So I already touched on the knees breaking early and the potential problem that could create. Another thing I look for, and this came from the great Graham Benton. He pointed this out to me a long time ago. On that catch position, when you're transitioning from the recovery into your next stroke, that little turnover should be as smooth and seamless as possible. And I'll still notice a little jolt as I reach forward, and as I initiate, you can almost see where I catch the resistance of the flywheel. Again, he shared that should be a smooth turnover, that should be a seamless turnover. You shouldn't really see much of or any of a jolt. So I tend to try and focus on that on longer, steadier pieces. The intensity is low enough where you can pay attention to a thing like that, and the goal hopefully being that focusing on it when you can pay attention to it will then carry over into these higher intensity sets where you really can't spend a lot of mind power focusing on your technique and just sort of let the movement happen. Much like the first set, the second Second one went very, very well. I was a little bit quicker on the second rep compared to the first. On the third one, I'm trying to obviously go as fast as I can, while kind of staying in that same rhythm. I didn't want to come out super hard. It's not like I'm looking to PB my 1500 at this point. But if I was holding comfortable 136s on the first two reps, on this one I wanted to start closer to 134, 135, and just try and hang out there as long as I can. In my mind, if I get tired early, I can just back off a little bit, gather myself, and then finish strong. Or, in this case, stay there, and I was able to hang out there and hold that pace for the bulk of that rep. I don't know if this is true for anybody else, but certain distances I struggle more with than others. I find 500s to be very, very hard. I find 750s to be a little bit more manageable. I don't necessarily enjoy 1Ks or 1250s, but 1500s to 2000s I don't mind as much. I don't know why that is. If someone knows, or if you also find yourself favoring certain distances over others, and doesn't really necessarily make much sense as to why, leave a comment below. With about 400 meters to go, I still felt like I could push it, and I increased the rate, and I slowly started to add pressure. I didn't have to go crazy, and I was seeing 126s for most of the last, 200 to 250 meters maybe, which in a session like this I think is awesome. That's a huge confidence booster. This one felt good. I didn't feel crushed at the end of it. And overall, coming off of two fairly busy holiday days with family, this was a fantastic session. Very, very happy with how this turned out. As always, thanks for watching. If you don't follow me on Instagram, you'll find me at Garage Athlete, and our website, www.garageathletefitness.com.